It's always a pleasure with you on BOI Weekly. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Kumbi Aboluade. Driving industrial growth through its 6 thematic areas of MSMEs, youth and skills, digital economy, climate, infrastructure, and gender remains the key focus of the Bank of Industry. BOI is not just fulfilling its mandate on its own, but has 4 subsidiaries through which the bank offers financial and advisory support to business enterprises in the country. These subsidiaries are BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited, BOI Microfinance Bank, Lincoln Finance Company Limited, and BOI Insurance Brokers Limited. In the next editions of BOI Weekly, we'll be showcasing how these BOI subsidiaries are contributing to Nigeria's industrial development. Today on the program, our attention is on BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited.
For about 4 decades, BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited, BOI-ITC, a licensed capital market operator registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission to operate as trustees, has supported over 150 customers of the Bank of Industry across the bank's various thematic areas through financial advisory and trusteeship services. The Managing Director of BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited, Flora Fabian, also shares critical insights into the role trusteeship plays when it comes to access to finance, wealth and asset preservation for both corporate entities and individuals.
From 1987 to date, the trusteeship sector has witnessed significant growth. As at 1987, I think it was reserved mainly for estate planning purposes, which was utilized by high net worth individuals. But with the growth of the capital markets and better understanding of the benefits of estate planning, the development of collective schemes in the public sector and regulation to govern that as well, trusteeships have really witnessed significant growth, growing to I think about 100 billion naira size market now. So there's a lot happening in this space, and BOITC, we understand the sector, and we've positioned ourselves to take advantage of the different opportunities in each of the various segments of the market, from debt and securities markets, private trust, public trust.
Within the trust sector, BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited has its distinctive features, rendering its services professionally and achieving the desired positive impact.
BOITC's uniqueness is hinged on several key differentiators. Firstly, we're a wholly owned subsidiary of BOI, or Bank of Industry, which is Nigeria's leading development finance institution. This gives us a lot of institutional backing, credibility, and in the trust business, this is one of the requirements, one of the key factors when you look at a trustee. Then secondly, as a business development service provider to BOI, we have a unique line of sight of MSMEs trying to access financing. So this gives us a better understanding of their needs, and because of our service offerings, we're able to offer them a whole suite of services. In terms of governance advisory, financial advisory, are targeted at companies, but then for the private trust side of things, those are targeted at individuals. And then obviously, when it comes to bond transactions, security trusteeship transactions, those are for corporates. If a company is wishing to access financing, they come and talk to us, and we help them with that process. So that's a key way that we're helping directly, and this is also in line with the parent company's mandate as a development finance institution, which is providing access to finance, and this is one of the key things that we do. Then for individuals, we largely help through our private trust services. You can come to talk to us about estate planning, which is not just about writing a will. It's about a whole suite of things, from identifying who your beneficiaries are, what are your healthcare directives, setting up educational trusts, so a whole suite of things. And our services are done in such a way that they can meet different financial, different budgets, so to speak. So it's not just for the wealthy. We encourage everybody to come have a conversation with us, and then we can put together a structure, a trust that meets your needs and your budget.
Although there are some myths surrounding trusteeship, the managing director of BOI-ITC says the effectiveness and the benefits of trust structure outweigh the fears.
Culturally, Nigerians don't like to talk about death. You feel like you're jinxing yourself if you talk about death. And this is one of the responsibilities that we feel that we have as trustees, to disabuse people's minds. Just because you're putting a plan in place does not mean that, you know, death is knocking at your door. I mean, we're all destined to go, so it just makes sense to put a plan in place. But the fact that you're discussing that plan is not going to hasten the arrival of the date that we're all destined to have. So that's one. Then there's also the misconception that estate planning is just about writing a will. It's not just about writing a will, it's about a whole lot of things. If you have small children, you want to ensure that if anything happens to you, they're well taken care of, so you could put an educational trust in place. You could be concerned about what happens to you in certain situations. For instance, if you're incapacitated, so you can put a healthcare plan in place or have specific health directives in place, so that people know exactly what to do when those situations arise. There's so many things. You can identify specific assets that you want to go to specific people. It's also utilizing a trust is also a way of reducing the taxes, the probate taxes that the estate would have to pay when it comes to time to transfer the assets. So it's a way of transferring assets without the challenges of going through probate. There's also the whole idea that it's reserved for the wealthy, people who have tons of assets. But no, it's for everybody.
With 38 years of solid experience and the backing of its parent company, the Bank of Industry, BOI-ITC is poised to continue to deliver top-notch trusteeship services in addition to its financial and governance advisory services.
We're doing a lot at the moment, but one of the transactions that I'm really excited about is we've just recently been appointed as a trustee to a tokenized debt issuance, which is, I think, the first of its kind in Nigeria, and we're going to be part of that transaction. So that's really exciting, and it demonstrates our ability to be at the cutting edge of innovation in the financial services sector. This is an evolving area, and it's one of the areas that in our mid-term strategic plan, we plan to be an active participant in. So being one of the first trustees on that sort of transaction is particularly exciting for us, and I think everyone should watch the space. I think it's the next new thing in the trusteeship sector. We have an open door. We're available. The first thing is to walk in and have a conversation with us so that we understand your needs. You can find out a lot of information about us on our website, and also our office is currently located at Victoria Island, 259 Etimiang Crescent. You can also check out our social media handles for up-to-date information on products and exciting things that are happening within the company.
Thank you for staying tuned. Indeed, we have for you the inspiring stories of two of the customers of BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited, who have accessed the services of BOI-ITC and are currently experiencing the positive impact of the business relationship. Let's start with Impacto Nigeria Limited.
Impacto Nigeria Limited started officially in the year 2001 as a trading company of finishing materials with special emphasis on ceramic tiles and sanitary wares. Over 20 years down the line, Impacto Nigeria Limited, an offshoot of Impacto Group World, set up its local factories for production.
We ventured into manufacturing. We have 3 factories now, setting up the 4th one. We have a glue cement factory. We have concrete, a precast, pre-stressed concrete plant in Abuja. And we are setting up a stone cutting factory here with Stone Depot by Impacto Limited. So basically, we say wall, floor, and ceiling. We do tiles basically. Everybody knows Impacto as a tile service provider. So not just selling the product, but also in installation and finishing of the tiles. But we have gone beyond that to sanitary wares, ceiling, paints, and all aspects of finishing in a home. Now, we recently started working with Nigeria-made granite to finish it according to European standards, because we have a large deposit of granite stone in Nigeria. And what we have done recently with the new factory we have set up is to finish those products well for export and internal use.
This capital-intensive venture was in need of financial support, and BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited provided much-needed support.
In our earlier stages, when we sourced for funding from BOI, I think it was in our 3rd loan approval that we were approached by BOI trustees. Rather than pledging our properties and assets to for the banks to mortgage, to transfer our assets to them to hold in trust for us, and now give the guarantees that are necessary to the banks. So initially we didn't understand the whole process. So we had several meetings with BOI trustees, and we found out that it is a good process. It is a good system, so to speak, where you now hand over your assets to a trustee, and now the banks can go there to put the whatever loan that you take from them. They will now ride on it, and you don't need to move your assets from one bank to the other, because you have a trust company that is holding on to that. So I think we started that process with them. We met BOI trustees 3 years ago, thereabout, and that has helped us to grow. So we can now look for further funding from different aspects because of our relationship with BOI trustees. For BOI trustees as a company, it's been seamless. They understand the dynamics, and most especially because for us as a company, we have funding only from BOI, Bank of Industry. So since it's a sister company of BOI, it has been seamless.
The support offered by BOI-ITC has accelerated the productivity level of Impacto Nigeria Limited, boosting local production and creating job opportunities.
For a company with a vision, what funding gives you is speed of execution. So something maybe where you could have been in 30 years' time or in 10 years' time, you could be there in 2 years. So which comes with every good thing along the line, which is employing more people, establishing more outlets, establishing your supply chain better, exporting products. We started exporting some of our finishing materials. And it assists us in all the positive areas, increasing the number of staff. We are now able to open our stone cutting factory. Without them, it would probably not be in this position now to have this factory up and running. And Using this as a case study, we're already employing close to 30 people. We've set up one of the best equipment for polishing, grinding, and working with stones, granite and marble, both imported and local. So that in itself is an improvement it has done to our business. The other plant we have in Abuja with the concrete, the precast concrete, is also going to employ close to 40 people. And yes, they made it possible because we worked with them in that project, in that funding. And so in terms of numbers, I think these, off my head, I can tell you. But yes, our business may have doubled because we are no more importing only. We are now exporting and we are now producing locally. The shortest way, the cheapest way, the easiest way for any business to access funding is through going through a trust company. Having your assets with the trust company, and BOI trustee, from what I understood and I've learned, is about the oldest trust company you have. And they have a good pedigree, and they work with BOI because of the Bank of Industry that is their parent company. So they seem to be the easiest to work with.
Another client of BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited is NGPET Manufacturing Company Nigeria Limited, located at Igbesa in Ogun State.
When it comes to the manufacturing of food-grade PET resin, such as bottles used for packaging of edible oil, water and carbonated soft drinks, among other bottles, NGPET Manufacturing Company Nigeria Limited is at the forefront.
My name is Vlasis Liakoulis. I'm the Managing Director of NGPET Manufacturing Company. In case you're not fully aware, we are the foremost and leading manufacturer of food-grade PET resins in Nigeria. And as a matter of fact, we are the biggest manufacturer of PET resin in West Africa. We are proudly part of the Jordan Group, a major industrial powerhouse. We started in 2014, and we have been serving the needs of the food and beverage, non-alcoholic food and beverage industry of Nigeria since 2017, when we commissioned the factory, which is situated in Igbesa, Ogun State. It's an ultra-modern factory with an annual capacity of at least 150,000 tons per annum.
The company identified a need in the production of food-grade PET resin in Nigeria and stepped in to fill it.
Nigeria used to import food-grade PET for the needs of the bottlers. So obviously there is no need for Nigeria to import PET. We can manufacture world-class food-grade PET resins in the country. So we saw this as an opportunity not only to start a good business, but also to contribute, to the self-sufficiency of Nigeria and Nigeria's economy. That informed our decision to invest in a very modern, almost fully automated plant in Igbesa. The promoters of NGPET, they started as traders, but very soon they decided invest, whatever proceeds they will make into, into creating, factories and creating manufacturing capacity and jobs in Nigeria. Yeah, so we don't feel strangers at all. We feel pretty much part of Nigeria.
To advance the company's expansion plan, NGPET Manufacturing Company Nigeria Limited sought the financial advisory intervention of BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited.
I would say it was an excellent relationship, very productive. The team was extremely professional, very knowledgeable, quite fast. It was a very productive experience and relationship. Yeah. We enjoyed every moment of the interactions. They provided, very useful insights. As I said, they are very knowledgeable, yeah, and quite flexible and fast in the way they operate. Well, it helped us tremendously because we were able to work together on a medium and long-term plan. We found a way to structure optimal solutions for NG's expansion program. We were able to mitigate the risk. We've been able to optimize our balance sheet. So all these are they put us in a very good position to face to start now working on the next step of expansion. So without any reservation, I will, as a matter of fact, I do this already. I'm already, sharing, the experience with other people. So yeah, by all means, I would recommend the services of ITC. Yeah.
The managing director of NGPET Manufacturing Company Nigeria Limited sees the opportunity to enjoin entrepreneurs to seek financial advisory support for their businesses.
It's very important, to have a very robust, feasibility study, and which is part of the job of the financial advisor, to support us with creating a very strong feasibility study, plan very well our balance sheet, our cash flow. So I would say it's critical. It's critically important to have top-notch financial advisory at the beginning, because any mistake can be very costly and very difficult to reverse along the way. Yeah. So in a nutshell, it's extremely important to have a knowledgeable and supportive financial advisor.
As NGPET Manufacturing Company Nigeria looks forward to the continued support of BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited, the management of the company promises to continue to maintain its world-class standards through its optimized production processes.
Remember, BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited, a subsidiary of the Bank of Industry, is open for business. Do reach out to the company via the information showing right on your screen. We have more on the workings of the subsidiaries of the Bank of Industry for you. Do look out for BOI Lincoln Finance Company Limited next week. Thank you for watching BOI Weekly. I am Kumbi Aboluade. Bye for now.